Alright, so I keep having problems with my computer not wanting to allow me to post up Facebook or YouTube videos. Let's see. My phone is almost dead, so that's also being an issue. I'm not. Can I call after? Can I call in a bit? This is Mandy. She's typing to me that she's sorry she's dealing with some legal stuff, but she hopes I'm well. I'm not. I'm not well. However, my phone's almost dead. I believe the stuff should be close to completely downloaded. Mandy Singer just posted something on Facebook. It says, basic human decency. You know what I'd really like to see go viral? Basic human decency. Me too. But guys are all sorts of nice if she's pretty and you want to have sex with her. You're all sorts of nice if he's good looking and you want to have sex with him. That's when you're decent to people, isn't it? If they're not pretty, if they're not good looking, it's a different story. Oh God, my back is so fucked up. All right, good. She's gonna call in the afternoon if possible. That's a good thing. However, I gotta plug this thing in. Now, there's a lot of jurisdictional stuff that I'm gonna try to cover in this video. First of all, that fire over at Ken and Leah's, I did light that fire. I absolutely did. Not only that, but I admitted it on Facebook before I was even arrested. I called the cops and admitted it to them. I sat there in my vehicle and waited for the cops to show up. I admitted it on Facebook so that people who were not me, because the cops weren't going to listen to me, they had shown time and again in Haxton, Colorado, in Broomfield, Colorado, here in Chapel, Nebraska, that no matter what I did, they were going to make an excuse not to look at it. So I had to get these wingnuts to call it in. These people the cops would listen to. My predators, they'd listen to. Yes, that's a big ass fucking boil on my nose. Isn't it pretty? Makes me look like a witch, doesn't it, with this big old hook and crook nose. Ken and Leah don't live in Sheridan. That's where Officer Brian Valenzuela is from. That's where my case for lighting that fire was, all of their bullshit was happening. Was at a Sheridan. Meanwhile, Ken and Leah don't live in Sheridan. They don't. They live in Inglewood. Now, I'd type their address up here, but I'm afraid that I'd get YouTube banned if I did that. With the police not willing to take my report, I was hoping that there was some private investigator out there who was actually willing to call these people up and look it up, to get a hold of Ken and Leah, course, with all the bullshit that they pulled before Natalie was killed, I mean, that was some forlorn hope, wasn't it? That's not the only jurisdictional issues. The police wouldn't help me with getting a protection order against these predators. Now, mind you, most of the time, jurisdiction was their excuse. Like you guys got to hear the sheriff here, and he was very much an asshole when I went in there, wasn't he? Of course he was. Not as much of an asshole as the ones in Sheridan, Wyoming, though. Or not Sheridan, but Rawlins, Wyoming. Um, he wanted to make sure that I didn't talk about any of the BS with him and his officers, among other things. Now let's talk about jurisdiction starting at the very beginning. That protection order from Natalie that I was given on the 16th of December 2017. That was only a few days after I exposed her dad with an email that she sent me. I'm going to get on here and show that again too. It's in some of my previous videos, but the thing is, those are buried, and I'm trying to keep it fresh so that anybody new who actually cares can actually see it instead of having to dig through literally thousands of videos. There's the fact that it does take time. It'll take hours for my phone to download videos. It only takes a couple of minutes as long as I cover up the camera, and it's mostly just audio that it has to record. One of the laws that I'm trying to change, I'm trying to get it for our safety. I'm trying to get it so that audio recording is required by law in the jails for our safety, for the inmates' safety, and also in mental hospitals for our safety. The things that have been done in these jails repeatedly and in these supposed hospitals repeatedly, they would not have done those things so self-assuredly that they would get away with it if there was cameras with audio in those places. Police protect their own, and that is nationwide. When I spoke with the officer in 2018 when I was in Scottsbluff, he allowed all of the staff, including the one who assaulted me and was rubbing it in my face, that my camera was broken and that my earphones were broken and that my computer was broken. You know, that kind of got to me a bit, because what was my computer and all of that doing there? Why was Ruben rubbing that in my face? And why was he allowed to assault me after being asked to leave me alone? After being told to stay away from me? I needed to keep those chemicals out of my body. Y'all aren't understanding that. Brandon Ratner, the conversations with him and I, he's familiar with schizophrenia. He knows I'm not schizophrenic. There's a few other of those conversations that I had with people where I'm like, all right, did this happen? Did that happen? Or did I imagine those things? And sure enough, they verify that those things happened. So obviously, that whole schizophrenic thing is bullshit. I need to get some sleep, but also I need to talk with Mandy, so I'm not going to be able to do that. I have to stay up. I have to keep fighting. So I was served with the protection order in Boulder. None of that stuff happened in Broomfield or even in Adams County. But fuck it, right? It's somehow magically justified, right? The police were as invested in hiding their wrongdoing as the Bollingers were. Here in Chapel, Nebraska, they're still heavily invested in it. What I said that they would do, their intent and purpose in sending me to Scotts Bluff, and what they would do because of it, I've proven, and they have proven. The police in this town have proven. They've done exactly what it is that I said that they would do. Now, did that stuff in Scotts Bluff happen here? No, it didn't. But the sheriff tried to use that to try to, well, to try to tarnish my name when we were talking to each other, didn't he? Of course he fucking did. This happened across multiple jurisdictions across the country. Mind you, it started in Boulder, Colorado, as far as the police and their rotten BS when I was a child. It started in Chesapeake, Virginia, as far as the slander from Natalie and Alicia Bollinger. As far as the bullshit by the police, Natalie rescued me from the Boulder Police Department. That's who she rescued me from. She didn't rescue me from myself. In a manner of speaking, she did, because I was going to kill myself in the Starbucks bathroom. But I was going to kill myself in the Starbucks bathroom over what the police were doing to me and the fact that I had nobody to help me. Just pretty words. And a lot of people at Starbucks said that they would help me around that point in time, but they never kept their word. I'm used to that. You know, you say those pretty words, not ever intending on keeping them. You just say them. And then you make excuses why you didn't keep your word, and it's magically okay. Well, it's not magically okay. I was being harmed and I needed help. In Chesapeake, Virginia, Natalie and Alicia lied. And because they lied, I was being harmed in that jurisdiction by police who broke my car intentionally, did not take my report, dropped me off at a hospital. And I was fine with going to the hospital. I was dehydrated, but I needed the police to take my report. What was going on was so incredibly fucked up. Then, when I got to Boulder and Maddie Boa was spreading rumors in Boulder, Colorado, I needed help to get it to stop. Now, Maddie Boa, her conversations are here on YouTube as well, between her and I. She's got multiple Facebook profiles, and I think I only have one on here, but I have the other one on Facebook and screenshots. I think I might have both of them on Facebook in screenshots. This is an aluminum pipe for tobacco, of course. It's not marijuana. It's not crack. Now, one thing that you never want to bring up, and I've shown this time and again, you never bring up marijuana to any mental health care professional because they will not hear anything that you say after that. Even if you tell them that you quit smoking marijuana, they're going to write that down on your paperwork. Why? Because then they get extra money for substance abuse. That's more money for them. It also helps with their statistics to try to make everybody who smokes marijuana look like a bad person. Everybody who has a psychotic fucking breakdown from the shit that they're going through. It's obviously because of marijuana use. Now, I don't just talk about this evidence, I prove it by posting it up. And some of it, when I was scrolling through earlier, I scrolled through a lot of different stuff. I didn't stop and read it all like I did with some of this really important stuff. But still, the thing with Samuel Leon Lawrence IV, that's important. The stuff that happened between myself and Betsy Prowell and David Prowell, that's important. And this is all across multiple jurisdictions. Um, the police, they wouldn't look at any of the evidence. When I went in there with Laura Nelson, I went in there with evidence to show them, but of course, Sheriff Scott DeCosta's rules, I couldn't show them. Now, with Sheriff Scott DeCosta's rules, I can't show any of the stuff from these other jurisdictions, but they can use the stuff from these other jurisdictions to fuck me. Like the assault by Jocelyn Lolotai is on my permanent record. It's on my arrest record. Now, they dropped the charges, but it's still there. Why is that? It allows officers an excuse, but it also shows their motive for doing the things that they did to me. It shows these officers in Cheyenne, Wyoming's motive for harming me and for harassing me. The same thing in Rawlins, Wyoming. Between that and slander from Rand Ingersoll. Now, mind you, Rand Ingersoll admitted to it. She apologized for it. She admitted that she fucked me. She fucked me over pretty damn good. But I forgive her because she admits it. Now, then there's the protection order that I had just been assaulted by Officer Burke. Now I'm trying to let's go back to the 29th of December 2017. I'm trying to show the detectives in Natalie's case some stuff that I'm going to show you when my phone is a little bit more charged. That's the conversation between Tim Beeson and I, starting in March of 2017. This is after I've already been assaulted and threatened in real life, and people accusing me of this shit in real life in Boulder, Colorado, preventing me from seeing any of my loved ones without having to endure abuse. And obviously, if I am abused, the cops aren't going to do a goddamn thing about it. I'm the one who's going to be victimized by law enforcement if somebody assaults me, if somebody threatens me, and I try to turn it in. They get to use the stuff that the tags, the mentally ill tag, as their excuse not to do their job, as their excuse why it's not okay to listen to me because I'm obviously mentally ill and therefore I must either be lying or I must be schizophrenic and imagining this shit. But time and time again, in these conversations with people, you realize that I'm not imagining this shit. It's actually happened. But then there's people like Alex Furman, didn't want to be targeted, didn't want his children targeted. Candace Bondurant, she was targeted. And her children were targeted by police. They were targeted by her landlord. And yeah, I posted up the conversation between myself and Candace's mother, talking about that. She was pissed that I recorded that and put it on YouTube. I don't give a fuck. What you and your daughter did to me was terrible. Your shitty assumptions between looking at what was going on and making shitty assumptions and punishing me over your shitty assumptions. You chose to play judge, jury, and executioner. And mind you, this is across multiple jurisdictions as well. Now, when I was in the jurisdiction that I should have been able to make the report in, those officers refused to allow me to do so, including Officer Burke. That was on the 29th of December of 2017 in, or not Chesapeake, Virginia, in Broomfield, Colorado. And I'm sorry, but I'm really overwhelmed and I'm having difficulties keeping my train of thought because I mean there are so many things that happened and all of them are flooding through my head right now. That officer was released from Broomfield Police Department. And later on, in August of 2017 or 2018, that officer decided to retaliate against me and assault me in Longmont Hospital for trying to make a police report still. No matter what, the hospitals wouldn't allow me to make a police report. And when I tried to make a police report to the police, they sent me to fucking nuthatches. And because I didn't have the ability to record it at the time, well, they got away with doing whatever they wanted. I should have walked into that room with my camera recording on my telephone when I had to talk to Amanda Jonas and the FBI and the Secret Service and Officer Brian Valenzuela, all in the same room. But the thing is, I had things on that phone that I needed to show them. And that phone, I tried to show what was on it for months and months and months and months, and it finally got stolen. It finally got stolen in Tacoma, Washington, because the police wouldn't do their fucking jobs. Because I was stuck in public. My vehicle, I didn't even have gas to move the thing. And when I finally got the gas to move it, it got towed. I needed help. Instead of being victimized for being broke, instead of being victimized for being stranded, instead of being victimized for being victimized, people kept telling me I need to just let it go. I did let it go. I let it go when I left Chesapeake, Virginia. It followed me. People say I just need to let it go with all of the shit in Colorado. But it followed me too, didn't it? It followed me everywhere that I went. It follows me every time that I talk to a police officer and he types my name up on a screen. It follows me. Anytime I go to a hospital and that comes up on their screen, it follows me. People keep telling me I need to go see a therapist. I can't. First of all, a therapist isn't going to help me. I've already done that repeatedly. I wasted so many resources going to therapists. I don't need a fucking therapist. I need a goddamn lawyer, and a federal lawyer at that. None of these people had to go through this. None of these people. None of these people have gone through this level of hell. Not even one. Not even one. Then you guys tell me that I need to get a job. I can't function. I don't have a driver's license any longer. I don't have a vehicle any longer. I don't have a safe place to go. Housing first. This is Sierra getting in contact with me again. And I also got a text message. I don't know who sent me the text message. We'll see. Yes. So Sierra, this mutual friend with me and Todd, thinks that I'm Natalie and Alicia's dad. She typed Natalie and Alicia. I went to Broomfield High School with both of them. I helped them with schoolwork like math and science. I am sorry you get threats like that from people. That is terrible. I still talk to Allie. That would be Alicia. She thinks I'm Ted. I'm gonna end this video and then I'm gonna try to call her on Facebook. She wants some work done on her. Obviously, she wants some tattoo work.